It's cold-hearted, and you just jumped off the porch with dirty glove, bastard. I ain't had no shoes, I would've been cool with some Vans. Early before school, I seen.
All right, today we got Cold Hearted jumping off the porch with us today.
Yes, sir. What's good? How you doing?
How you feeling, gang?
I'm great. For
For
sure.
sure. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today, man.
Same with you, man. Same with you.
For sure.
I'm glad to be here, for sure.
Nah, for real, man.
So
So tell us, what you out here working on in Atlanta?
shit, I'm here with y'all, man. I'm here with y'all. Yes, sir.
So for those who wouldn't know, how would you describe life back at home in Ohio?
Man, it's Ohio's known as country, man, but it's really not. It's a lot of big cities. You got Cleveland, Columbus, Akron, the Natty, shit like that. But then you got a whole bunch of small towns too, like Canton, Youngstown, stuff like that, with 80,000, 100,000. Man, Ohio's really money, man. It's money.
So what part of the city are you from?
I'm from Newark.
Yeah,
It's probably like 30 minutes away from Columbus, about 50,000 people.
that's real, that's real. So how would you describe your childhood coming up?
Man, I grew up in a trap house. I grew up, my mom was on drugs and stuff, but see, my mom from Maryland, and my sister was like 5 years old. She came to Ohio to get off crack and shit, and she met my dad through AA, and her and my dad like had me or whatnot, and they broke up probably like a year later, and my mom was just struggling through drugs, you know what I mean? So by the time I was like 6 years old, we had basically like moved, and she had got with some new dude, and that's when like she went from partying like barely to like just being full blown on drugs. So I was just growing up basically like she would just sell the house out to people, you know what I mean, for drugs and shit, you feel me? So in my room, it'd be 4, 5, 6, 7 drug dealers in my room. So I just grew up thinking that shit was cool. You feel me? I grew up thinking all that shit was cool. So before I could even be a kid, I was already grown. And then by the time I was 12 years old, I was in jail my whole childhood up.
Yeah. So you basically grew up in a trap house.
Trap house and jail, basically, for
Yeah.
sure.
So when would you say you jumped off the porch?
By like 11 or 12, started robbing shit, toting guns, stuff like that. I was broke as fuck. I was tired of looking dingy, you know what I mean? Like I had no confidence due to like my whole first, second, third grade. I'm in school in church clothes and hand-me-downs, and you know what I mean? Like I had no type of affection. I see my dad like twice a month, and my dad gave me like that clarity, but I was scared of him because I went from like being in a house where I'm a kid, but I'm basically an adult though. You know what I mean? Like my mom would be gone sometimes all night, and I'll be in there by myself, 6, 7, 8 years old. When I go to my dad's house, it ain't like that. Like I can't just go into the kitchen. I can't just do none of that. My dad on my ass. So basically, before I could even, I don't even know.
Straight up. So how have you been changing your life since, you know what I'm saying, you've been home and shit?
Man, I've been home 2 years, and see, I was 17, I went to the joint. I was 17, came home when I was 21, and I ain't never like had rent, I ain't never bought a car, I never did nothing. When I was home before, I was a kid, but I was in the streets, and I haven't even been in school since 9th grade. But anyway, I came home and I just stayed on myself now. You know what I mean? I got homies I fuck with and shit like that, but at the same time though, I just stayed on myself. I got my vision, and I let my vision grow and grow as it needs to grow, you feel me? I just focus on my family and shit like that, you know what I mean? Just trying to change my mind, my mindset, and keep on, because you can't change this shit overnight, you know what I mean? It takes time, but I'm just growing and trying to eventually adapt into something else.
For sure. So what would you say is the hardest part about adapting to your new life and leaving your former life behind?
I be feeling like I'm faking half the time. Like even just like, cause you know how this shit go, fake love, you gotta give motherfuckers fake love and just act like, I don't know, like it's just really hard to be yourself when, I mean, I don't know, like I'm antisocial, I don't really like talking to people, so I don't know, it's a big difference because, I don't know, it's just a big difference.
For sure. So what would you say is the biggest life lesson you learned so far?
My biggest life lesson, it's you and you, nobody else. Ain't nobody gonna be there for you, nobody gonna help you. You're gonna have people that love you and will help you, but can't nobody help you like you.
So what would you say is the biggest sacrifice you had to make?
Family and just time and stuff, for sure.
What would you say is the biggest obstacle you had to overcome so far in your life?
My biggest obstacle, man, deaths. Definitely deaths and being away from loved ones.
So how did you end up making music?
Man, when I was a kid, I used to love Eminem, 50 Cent, Jada Kiss, Ja Rule, shit like that. But I used to rap when I was like 6. Like I would write raps and stuff. I have raps that I've written like 2004, 5 and stuff. So basically, I never had no confidence though. So I would just do it like out of, you know what I mean, boredom and shit. I'm in jail, and my whole time in jail from like when I was 12 to 21, I used to always write raps, but I wouldn't tell nobody though, you know what I mean? So basically, like I would just keep them to myself, or like when I was in a joint, when my cellie would leave the cell, or when I was in Lucasville by myself in the cell, I would just rap like to myself, but I would just never write it down. I would just freestyle for hours and shit, but I just never ever like had a passion to take it to like you know what I mean, a career, you know what I mean? On top of that, you know, I'm white, so it's hard for a white rapper on top of that, you know what I mean? So I just never took it serious, but then I came home from the joint. My first day I came home and linked up with my best friend, and he had ended up meeting someone like a couple of years prior, and his name was Corey, and me and him ended up linking up and being like this, and he did music. And I was home for like a year, and he ended up passing away. And like right before he passed away, like we was rapping together, and he was like basically like trying like get me to rap. You feel me? And I'm like, nah, this ain't me. Like I ain't no rapper. You feel me? Like and at the time I'm dope dealing. You feel me? Like, I'm not even worried about nothing else. Like I'm just trying to get some money. I'm hustling. And he tell me like, nah, you got a story, bro. You gotta tell that shit. And that's always been my goal. Like even years before that, I just know somehow I want to get my story out and try to change lives. You feel me? So anyway, he died, and the moment he died, I started writing raps. And he died June 2020, and from June 2020 to April 21, I wrote probably 400 raps, but I didn't record none. And then I linked up with No Love from Cleveland. Shout out No Love. And me and him ended up doing a little song or whatnot. And he gave me the motivation to actually start recording consistently, you feel me? Because I was trying to take my time and still learn, but.
That's real. What elements of life brings out the best of you and your music?
Struggle and pain. I don't know. I don't be trying to like censor anything. Like when I do my music, I got different moods, you know what I mean? I might have some moods I'm yelling and talking shit, and I might have some moods where I'm just strictly about pain and strictly about the struggle and just fucked up, and you know what I mean? Like, it just really depends on what I'm going through in that moment, for real.
How would you describe your current thoughts on the rap game?
I feel like it's really, man, I don't even know, to be honest with you. I feel like it's really hard to find your place, especially because, like, man, it's so many good artists, but on top of that though, people don't really know what to do. You know what I mean? Like it's so many gimmicks, it's so many brands that people are building their music off of rather than just their music. And I just feel like the talent don't really hold no more. You know what I mean? It's more on who got the money, who's doing this, who's popping. You feel me? I feel like it's more of a like people just fuck with who's popping.
That's real. What would you say is the biggest risk you took for your career that paid off?
By far, linking up with No Love in Cleveland, just because like I don't fuck with mainstream artists, you know what I mean? Like I do, but like I always fuck with artists before they get big. Like I fucked with Rod Wave 4 years ago. I fucked with Polo G 4 years ago, you know what I mean? But No Love is like one of my favorite artists just because like I could relate to what he got going on. And we linked up in Cleveland and did a song. And Fifth Boy was in there, and I fucked with both of them or whatnot, you know what I mean? Especially in the joint in Ohio, like they big on the music scene, you feel me? So I did a song with them, and they just fucked it with me tough and just told me like, bro, you gotta keep going, like you hard, bro, you feel me? And just people that I looked up to, cause I never had music in my vision, you feel me? So for people that I listened to for years, tell me like, bro, you hard, I fuck with you, like that shit really means something.
For sure. What would you say is the biggest sacrifice you had to make for your career?
My biggest sacrifice, for sure, being away from my family. Being away from my family and my son. And I don't know how many times I've been in the studio, my son screaming, dad, 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 dad. That shit hurt. But I just know the vision gonna pay off.
Yeah. How important is fatherhood to you?
Very important. Fatherhood is the most important thing to me, to be honest with you. But I mean, someone gotta do something, so just hopefully shit pay off 10, 20 years from now, we can just live our life.
Yeah. So how would you describe the music scene back at home in Ohio?
Man, it's turned in Ohio, but ain't no one really, I don't know, like Cleveland be putting on for Ohio, but it's just so many talent that's not being seen for real. Like Columbus, 40, the only one that really turned up in Columbus. And Natty, you got like Roadrunner TB, but it's just so many hard rappers that's not really being seen for real.
Why do you think people overlook the talent coming out of Ohio?
I feel like a lot of artists in Ohio don't really put into the market. I feel like a lot of people feel like you just can just drop music and it just be heard by everyone without running ads and just trying to do everything they can to get their music out there.
Yeah.
Being serious.
So what motivated you to drop 4 music videos in 4 weeks?
Man, because I'm still learning my voice. I'm still getting confident with myself, you know what I mean? So to be honest with you, I'm working on so much, like me and T9 got a song coming out. Me and Lil Craig got some more projects we working on and stuff. But before I drop like my best shit, I just wanted to drop like some, you know what I mean? Like some all right shit that I thought was cool, but not like, I'm a perfectionist, you know what I mean? So I just said, fuck it, I'm just gonna drop as much as I can, you know what I mean? So it just came like that for real.
Yeah. So if you can explain each of the 4 songs and visuals to us.
Right. All right, so you got Gram for Grams, my first video, and I went back to my old neighborhood, and basically it's just me talking about like when I was a kid, how I would basically see junkie smoking work, and you know what I mean, just everything I went through for real. It was kind of like an introduction to my life, you feel me? But we had went to like a little trap house and shit, and you feel me? I had a geek wake me up and whatnot, like the beginning of the video. But then in the middle of the video, we was doing a skit, and motherfucker got popped, and that's what, like the first 2 days, I had like 3,000 views straight from just Newark, Ohio, just strictly from that, because everyone was waiting just to see that fight and shit, you feel me? But that video was kind of my favorite just because of what I could bring off, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to let people know, like, man, I'm versatile as well, you know what I mean? And then my second video with Lil Craig, I had that song for like a year. And I'm just like, man, I want to do another video. And I hit him up and he was free, you feel me? We just shot the video. I didn't even like my part of the song. I was waiting to redo it for real. But as soon as I did the video, I got great feedback, you feel me? And that's why me and him did some more music together, just because people like us together, you know what I mean? For sure.
How important do you feel creative direction is when you're putting your videos together?
I feel like it's very important. I feel like it's different strokes for different folks though, you feel me? Like my first video, I was doing all type of shit. I gotta do this, I gotta do this. My second video, not so much. And then my other videos, I just for real just found a little location and just turned up, you know what I mean? But I feel like in time you can do so much shit. I feel like videos are very important. I'm just trying to build up my fan base still, you know what I mean? Keep on dropping and kind of get what my fans like the most from me, you know what I mean?
Straight up. So what is it that we can expect from your upcoming project?
You can expect a lot of good shit though. You can expect a lot of more videos, some good features, and hunger. I'm hungry, I'm coming for sure.
Straight up. So do you feel that living through such a traumatic state in life molded you to be the person you are today?
For sure. I never realized, like, I don't know, like when you go through traumatic shit as a kid or even just like your whole life, like you kind of think it's normal, you feel me? So I didn't really even realize like my life was as traumatic as it was until I got with my girl. And you feel me, you know, your girl trying to pick you off, see what you've been through, what you went through. And you know, girls got sympathy, you feel me? So as soon as I'm telling shit, like I think it's time she probably cried me telling her my life story and shit, you feel me? So just me being with my girl alone let me realize like that I was fragile due to my past that I never, you know what I mean, kind of acknowledged, you know what I mean? Because when you a kid and you screaming for affection and love and you never getting it, you know what I mean? You end up becoming cold-hearted as fuck. That's where we get my name from.
Yeah, that's real.
Yes, sir.
So how would you describe the relationship with your parents today?
My dad ended up shooting himself when I was locked up. I had just probably did like 6 months in on a 4-year bid, and my dad ended up killing himself or whatnot. And that fucked me up just because me and him never really got a chance to build while I was an adult, you know what I mean? I turned 18 and got shipped to adult prison 2 days later, you feel me? And I only seen him one time. So when that happened, it fucked me up a lot. But me and my mom, we good though. We grown, we learning, you know what I mean? We building for sure.
That's real. So talk to us about your grind as an independent artist.
man, I'm hungry. Everything I do, I try to put music into it. Even if I'm just watching football, I'm writing raps about football, you know what I mean? If I'm in the shower, I'm freestyling, you know what I mean? If I'm sleeping, I'm damn near probably thinking about how I'm gonna make a next music video or a song or something.
That's real. So what would you say is the biggest challenge that comes along with being an independent artist?
It's hard to do everything yourself. It's hard. And on top of that, like, it's just not music, you feel me? So you gotta learn how to do all type of shit, and then you gotta keep shit coming. Like, if I don't know, like when I first did my first song, people was fucking with me, and then I kind of lost myself in the learning process. In a few months, like, everyone kind of forgot I did music, you know what I mean? So it's kind of important to keep on dropping, keep that building, because I feel like every project you do, you gain more fans and different fans, you know what I mean? Like, every little thing you do, you gain a different type of acknowledgement from it, I feel like.
Yeah. Would you ever consider signing to a major label?
It'd have to be right, but I don't really have that on my sights right now, for real. I'm just, because I know I can do that shit myself, for real. All they gonna do is invest in me and put me in the right direction, but I could just do what they do myself, invest in myself and put myself in the right direction.
So what would you say is the ultimate goals for your career? Some of the ultimate goals you have set for yourself?
Man, just to not give up. I don't even know, like, I don't really even have no expectations, for real. Like, cause I know where I'm going, like, bro, I'm great. But at the same time, like, I'm still learning. Like, this shit ain't easy to me, you feel me? It's not natural to me, you know what I mean? I had to learn how to do shit, and I'm still learning how to do shit. So just the hunger, like, bro, I'm never quitting. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing that shit for 10 years without getting the flowers I deserve. I'm gonna keep on doing it for another 10.
Yeah. So what else are you working on right now?
Shit, me and T9 got a song I'm finishing up. Me and Lil Craig got a couple songs together. And I'm just working on getting as many songs by myself as I can, you know what I mean? I probably got like 30, 40 songs done, but I'm a perfectionist, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to get about another 100 songs done. I'm gonna just go through them, put a little project together or whatnot, and figure out how I'm gonna drop it, for sure.
Right up. Any last words and shout outs?
For sure. Shout out LaJada, my wife. Shout out my son, Talik. And just shout out you, man, watching this shit. Turn up for yourself.
For sure, man. Cold-hearted, we appreciate having you today, gang.
I ain't had no shoes, I would've been cool with some Vans. Early before school, I seen junkies smoking grams.